I love flying. It's glamorous, almost make-believe even. You take a seat and then float through the clouds, arriving in a few short hours at a destination that would take days to travel by car, weeks by bike, months, or even years by foot. Look, I say, leaning past my sister Paige to point out the window. There's Toronto. Halifax is already a distant memory, although we've only been in the air for a couple of hours. I'm not sure when I started to get annoyed at how small Halifax is, but my feelings were confirmed when we took off this morning, the entire peninsula visible through the window before we were even at half altitude. I don't care if it is the biggest city on the East Coast. If you can walk around the entire thing in an afternoon, that counts as tiny by my standards. Toronto, on the other hand. See, I say, moving my finger from landmark to landmark. That's the CN Tower, where Drake is sitting on the cover of that album. The building next to it that looks like a giant boob is Rogers Center, where Beyoncé plays when she comes to town. I say all this as if they're places I visit on a regular basis, when the truth is, I haven't been to Toronto since I was 10. It's big, she says. No kidding. It's easily Canada's biggest city. Over 2.5 million people. Everything is bigger in Toronto. Every kind of restaurant you can imagine, unbelievable shopping, the biggest film festival in North America. You should write for the City Tourism Board, she says. Maybe I will, I say. I'm totally moving here after high school. It'll be epic. In the meantime, I'll settle for being in town for Pride. Let me guess, she says. It's the biggest Pride festival in Canada. You're pretty sarcastic for a 10-year-old, I say. I can't help the way I am, she says. So you're going to try to make it to Pride? Have you run this past Mom yet? We both glance briefly at our mother, who is sitting in the aisle seat. Her earbuds are in, and she's engrossed in some boring, dramatic movie about serious people during some serious war. On the tiny screen, Kate Winslet, in the frumpiest overcoat ever, is running alongside a train in a snowy landscape, tears streaming down her face. Save your breath, I think. There's bound to be another one in a few hours. I haven't mentioned it yet, I say. But she has no problem with me going to Pride in Halifax, so why should she have a problem with me going here? Especially since we're lucky enough to be on this trip in the first place. Lucky? Asks Paige. Do you even remember why we're here? Of course I do, I say, although I can feel myself blushing.